is to switch over to Obama-McCain. And I want to talk about this issue that some people are concerned about, that some voters, when they go into the voting booth, may still hold Obama's race against him, despite the fact that he has, you know, a 7-point lead on paper in some states, a 13-point lead, a 5-point lead.
Race is obviously going to be a factor, you know, in these United States of America. Racism is a factor. I personally think that we need to, you know, redefine sometimes how we look at race. This idea that seems to be the prevailing notion in the United States that one drop of black blood makes you black. I think that that needs to be redefined. I'm not saying that I don't consider Barack Obama a black man, but he's also half white man.
Absolutely.
And I don't like the fact that people want to cut off one part of people's heritage. They did the same thing with Tiger Woods. They wanted to get angry at him because he wanted to bring all parts of himself into that. That's the reality. That's who he is.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And I think Barack Obama's got the upper hand here because he, people think he's played the, whatever the hell the race card is. I don't think he's done that at all. I think he's been Barack Obama, and he's been true to the way he said he would run his campaign and the way he would treat his opponent. John McCain, I don't think has done that. I don't think John McCain has run the, you know, the fine, upstanding, you know, above the board,
nonpartisan.
Yeah, I don't think he's run that kind of a campaign like he said he was going to.
Let's say Obama has a 5-point lead in Virginia right now, which I don't know what the recent polls are, but or at least not today's. But let's say he does. All right, within the margin of error, they're tied. All right, we have no idea. The only poll that matters is the poll on election day. All right, and who votes. Yes, polling samples do influence voters and how their states are playing. Clearly it influenced McCain because he pulled out of Michigan this week.
I've never been polled. All right, how about the people that have cell phones and don't have landline phones? Right. Okay, how are we getting out to the cell phone crowd? Like, this comes to my, I love to hate politics and I hate to love it. I hate polls and I love polls. Polls are great because it's like a drug. Politics is like a drug. Like, I want to know more. I want to know more information. But you know what? Not even the poll on election day is going to matter, because you know what? Popular vote in this country does not elect, and it's a 225-year-old antiquated system designed before the age of mass communication called the Electoral College, which, if I had my druthers, would have gone the way of the dodo a long time ago.
I might be a little different from Jason and Ryan in terms of feeling that politics is a drug and that I can't get enough of it. Prior to this election, wasn't really that interested in politics. I always voted, but I was not as informed. I did not get into the nitty-gritty of politics. I feel right now that the stakes are very high, and that's why my interest has increased greatly. And I'm, you know, now I'm really watching because I have a real stake in it.
And is that as an African American as well as just the timing of what we need to have changed
It's
here?
really as an American in terms of the stakes getting so high is what's going on. I love this country, and I think that it's going down. It's going down in a lot of ways, and that bothers me.
The part of your book where you were talking about the race issue in America, like, I'm a white kid that grew up on a cul-de-sac outside of Toledo, Ohio. Most of the people in my neighborhood were white. So, you know, I guess there's some people out there that, you know, feel like I can't vote for a black guy, but you know what? He's not black. He's half white. Let's not neglect half of his heritage. He's half black, he's half white, he's all American. That's awesome. That's why I love Barack Obama. He's like, he is indicative of all of us, all the things that have made America. Now, I've voted Democrat more often than Republican, but I'll tell you, there's one thing about the Democratic Party that I can't stand, and that's affirmative action. Because to me, it's reverse racism. As a white male, I hate affirmative action.
I feel it's an outdated concept, but I think that as long as racism in this country exists, which will be forever because we're human, and it's one of our unfortunate qualities, is that it needs to be reformed. It needs to stop hurting the opposition rather than the people that it's just helping.
Well, I talk a little bit about that in the book in terms of just revisiting, not necessarily reforming or amending per se, revisiting any entitlement program. But from my point of view, it's not just to do what's supposedly right or wrong in the bigger picture, is to do it strategically in the long term is going to achieve the most buy-in with the voting majority so Democrats stop losing all the time.
I'd like to make a comment about Jason and Ryan's comment about affirmative action. I would love it to be an outdated concept, and I would love it to be a concept that we didn't need anymore. But after all these years in the United States, where we have made a lot of progress in terms of race, even just from my parents' generation, there's a lot of progress that still needs to be made, and the playing field, I think, is still not level, and that's why I think affirmative action still needs to be around. I grew up having all of the economic advantages that I could have, and I still experience a lot of racism in the United States. So race is still a factor.